and away we go here for Xbox Division 3.
Still wheel to wheel coming out of turn 19.
Tries to go down the inside of Desio. Desio giving him space, but not by much.
Oh, and he's oversteered, and he spun. They're side by side, off the track, neck and neck.
Hello and welcome to PPR Xbox Division 4 as we are live here at Spa. Sorry for the bit of a delay here in qualifying, but currently we are on board with PV9 Magic here in the Williams. Looks like Groggy has retired. He's gone off up Eau Rouge and into the barrier. It must be said we saw a lot of our drivers having trouble in our D2 race at the same spot in qualifying as well as in the race. They getting caught out that slippery slope that is Radion up to Eau Rouge. And yeah, Groggy is already out. And it should be said that his teammate as well as the real Stalis is also gone out as well. So the Haas team, after losing Deluxe Court, who was first place in the driver standings, they are having a horrible day. Gunther Steiner is definitely holding back some F-bombs. We'll stay on board with PV9 Magic here. He's going to cross the line. It's going to be 158.5 for him. Looks like he has a Mercedes of Best Tayon right behind him, coming through the final chicane and across the line. Looks like it'll be a slower time, and it will. It's going to be 2:02 as we also see PPR Ollies and the Williams going with a 2:01. Should be said that it will be a wet qualifying session, as we obviously see right now, but the race will be completely dry, as I have heard from the reports from our weatherman. And look at Funky Cactus in the racing point, a 157.4. Very well done there by Funky, as he's preliminary P1, as I slur my words. But nice job there from Funky Cactus. We'll take it on board here with Rock Lobster. Rock Lobster on a flyer here in the Ferrari. As he comes through the final chicane, this might be a slow time here, and it definitely will be. It's going to be a 2:02.1 there for Rock Lobster, the slowest time we have seen so far in qualifying. And look at PV9 Magic, 158.5 there in the Williams with P2. We are now a little over 7 minutes, or a little under, I should say, 7 minutes here in qualifying, as all of our drivers are looking to set times. Go back on board here with Fontas. I believe he invalidated his last lap. He was the first runner out here on the intermediates. It looks like he's going pretty slow here on his time. Presumably he's just going to pull it into the pits and put on another set of tires. Let's go on board here with the Alfa Romeo of Father Corn. And a little bit of grass trimming on the edges right there through the DRS straight. This can be a challenging qualifying session for our drivers. See who can make their dry setup, presumably if they put a dry setup on. Who can make that dry setup work the best here in a wet quali. Because the race is a full dry session, no rain intended for the next 22 laps as we hit lights out for the race. As we also see Vexing Track, very nicely done, a 158.6. But as we were saying, gonna see who can make a dry setup work here in the wet. I'm guessing that most of our drivers are going to keep that dry setup on, knowing that the race is dry. And all you got to do is just make sure the car sticks and you don't lose too much time through the corners. You'll see Father Corn doing here, just sliding just a little bit there, doing a great job of keeping it steady. Oh, but in the gravel right as I say that, it's going to cost him a lot of time. It's almost half a second catching in that gravel pit, because now all you have left is just this long straight through turns 17 and 18 and through the final chicane, and Father Corn is losing a lot of time. See if he decides to pull into the pits here or complete his lap. It looks like he's going to complete this lap here, but losing a lot of time. Still cross the line there. It looks like a 59, and it'll be a 59.8 there. P5 right now for the Alfa Romeo driver, even though he was struggling quite a bit there on his lap. We'll now take it on down to the Ferrari of Night Shrimp, who has yet to set a time for this qualifying session. And for everyone currently tuning in to our live stream here on YouTube, you are greatly... Oh, and as I say that, look at Funky Cactus going off. Very lucky to not retire his car, just losing a little bit of the front wing, and he's going to come back on the track safely, and presumably coming in the pits to put another fresh set of tires. Taking on board here with PPR always. But as I was saying, thank you to everyone who is currently tuning in to our live stream. It's greatly appreciated. We just hit 200 subscribers earlier in the week, and we were looking to gain even more. It is the race to 1K, and hopefully we can hit that by the end of the season. And if you like what you're seeing, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. But on board here with PPR Ollies on his outlap, you can already see how much he is struggling through these very tricky wet conditions. And as we said very early here in the stream, Deluxe Horde, who was our current driver's first place, as I mix all the words up, he was currently first place in the Drivers' Championship for the Haas team. He has now been promoted up to D2, so he will no longer be racing here in D4, which leaves the championship battle all up to grabs. Vexing Track is now P1 in the Drivers' Championship standings there in the Racing Point, so he is currently 27 points abreast from second place, and it's really all up for grabs. I mean, we have half a season left to go without Deluxe Horde, who is just presumably going to take away the championship if he did stay in D4. Has really left open the gap for any of our drivers within the top 5 to really capture that Drivers' Championship by the end of the season when it comes to Abu Dhabi at the end of the year. We will run by the standings briefly during the formation lap for all of you guys who are tuning in. We're currently on board here with Ollies. He's doing a decent job so far on his lap. He's come through sector 2 here. Doing a great job of staying away from the curbs. Those are the curbs of death. If anyone has played the F1 2019 game, you understand you touch those curbs and your car is going sideways, like Giovinazzi last season at Spa on that final lap. But so far so good here for PPR Ollies in the Williams. We'll see if he can promote himself from that P9 and a little further up in the grid, as he's going very heavy on the revs right now. See how this lap works out. He's got a lot of traffic in front of him. Big Mr. Brown getting out the way. His teammate as well getting out the way. I believe that was the Greek Wookiee actually right in front of him. And PPR Ollies now come through the final chicane, locking up here. It's going to cost him a little bit of time. He's already catching some oversteer, keeping the car on the track. He's going to cross the line. That's a 59.8, promoting himself into P8. But most likely not the lap time that Ollies was looking for right there. So now taking on board to Best Taeyon our Division 1 commentator who races here in Division 4, coming through the final chicane. He was already up almost 7/10 there to Sector 2, so he's on a great lap. See where he can put himself. And it's going to be 159.2, up a second on his previous set time. He's now putting himself into P6. We already have 3 DNFs in the session. That's Groggy, the Real Stallus, and Sprightly. Unfortunately, oh, and as we talk about that, there goes the coach as well. Looks like he's gone off on the back straight. That is a very odd place to get caught out, but he will not be able to set a time here in qualifying. We have 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. And as of right now, it is PV9 Magic sitting in P1, followed by Funky Cactus and LDR Redeemer, rounding out our podium spots. Behind them is Vexing Track, as stated earlier. Our drivers, first place in the standings, as that makes no sense. So we'll say it again, Vexing Track is currently sitting first place in the driver standings. That makes more sense for all of our viewers. And behind him is the Greek Wookie, a reserve driver, coming out of D3 to now reserve here in D4. And followed by him is Bestion, Big Mr. Brown, Father Corn, PPR Ollies, and Fontas, rounding out our top 10. And through the final chicane comes Night Shrimp in the Ferrari. Across the line there, this is going to be a 2-minute point 2. It's going to be good enough for P10. As we still have 2 drivers besides our DNFs yet to set a lap. As we now go on board here with Orange Crush, one of those drivers. And it's just 2.5 minutes left to go in this quality session. See if Orange Crush can promote himself into the top 10 here. You just see how much that car is sliding through these wet conditions. Looks like Rock Lobster as well has retired. It looks like he just retired in the pits, so no harm, no foul there on track. Just opting not to go back out on track. And you'll start outside of the top 10 for the start of the race. But still on board here with Orange Crush flying through this final back straight and now into the final chicane, braking right before the 100-meter board. Doing a great job of not locking up. And he's on quite the lap right now. He might set himself up in the top 3. And, oh, just barely misses out by 5/10. That is P4 there for Orange Crush. And very nicely done by him. We'll now take it on to the Greek Wookie and the Toro Rosso. Currently sitting P6 and looking very nicely on this lap. Looks like the rain's letting up just a little bit. Might provide for a little bit of better times here from our drivers. Let's see the Greek Wookie now go P4. And Bestion has retired from the session. Oh, and look who it is. It is Fantas, I should say. They're in P1 of the 57.1, just barely beating out PV9 Magic for preliminary P1 and just 40 seconds left in the session. So our drivers are going to have to hurry to get across the line as Dark Ghost now has retired from the session. On board here with LDR Redeemer, his teammate of Big Mr. Brown just ahead of him. So we'll go to that here with the McLaren drivers. Big Mr. Brown currently sitting P9 with a 59.3. See if he can improve on this lap time right here. sliding a little bit there out of turn 20. But across the line, that is P8. We'll go up to his teammate Redeemer, who is definitely not on the lap that he wants to finish on. He's going to stay P4. Now on down to the racing points, as it actually looks like Vexing Track here is going to cross the line first. And that's going to be P4-7. Teammate of Funky Cat can pop up across PV9 Magic here. Pretty slow through that final apex there. 20, and that's P1 for Funky Cactus. Nicely done from him. Magic now just doing some donuts in the grass. Taking on board here with the Greek Wookie, who's getting slipstream from the car ahead, but he is definitely going too slow on his time. That is his teammate of, I believe, Fantis, right? I believe that will be the end of our question. We'll take it to Big Mr. Brown. Just make sure he's not hot lap. Looks like he actually is here, even though his ERS is down. So that should be the end of unless anything crazy changes and Big Mr. Brown somehow pulls out a tremendous Sector 3. It's going to be Funky Cactus P1, Fantis P2, and PV9 Magic there sitting in P3, followed by Vexing Track, LDR Redeemer, the Greek Wookie, Orange Crush, Big Mr. Brown, Best Theon, and Father Corn. Rounding out the top 10. Should also be noted that we've had 5 DNFs, Groggy, the Coach, Dark Ghost, the Real Stalls, and the all unable to qualify session. And we will just have to hope that a dry race will help those guys out. Presumably, they were just unable to make their setup work here in the wet. But that is it. That is the end of qualifying here for PPR Xbox Division 4. This is our final race of the week. Our nice little Friday night showdown. And Funky Cactus half a second up, nearly 6/10 from Fantis there in P2. See how he does in the dry conditions for the race. Followed by PV9 Magic in third. And just back again, Vexing Track there in fourth. LDR Redeemer and the McLaren in fifth. Followed by the Greek Wookie, our reserve driver there, and the Toro Rosso. And then Orange Crush, Big Mr. Brown, Best Teon, and Father Corn and the Alfa Romeo rounding out our top 10. But you can definitely see how the wet conditions really shaped up this grid. A lot of our drivers unable to cope with that with their dry setups. But nonetheless, we'll see how the race goes. It's all up for grabs here for our Xbox Division 4. And once again, if you like what you're seeing, hit that like button, hit the little subscribe, follow us on Instagram, PPR Esports, as well as our Twitter, PPR Esports. And I'll be right back with you guys after a brief 30-second break. And here we go for the formation lap. You see nice clear skies here at Spa. Briefly take you down the driver's standing. So currently Vexing Track in the Racing Point starts P1, currently leading the points battle here with 147 points. LDR Redeemer right behind him and P2 with 120, followed by Funky Cactus there in the other Racing Point in P3. Followed by them is PV9 Magic and the Williams, and then the duo of Red Bull drivers, Orange Crush and Dark Ghost, in 5th and 6th respectively. And then rounding off the top 10 is Big Mr. Brown, Father Corn, PPR Ollies, and Groggy Oregano finishing off in 10th place. Now taking a look at the constructor standings so far, we have Haas up in P1. However, that Racing Point team now is looking to shoot themselves up in first place after Deluxe Cord's exit from Division 4. So that is first for Haas and second for Racing Point, followed by McLaren in P3. Then Red Bull in fourth. Fifth is Williams, followed by Toro Rosso, Alfa Romeo, Mercedes, Renault, and then Ferrari, who have yet to pick up a single point so far in the season. We are halfway through, and Night Shrimp and Rock Lobster have yet to pick up a single point, so we will wish them the best tonight, and hopefully one of those guys can find himself in the top 10 as Night Shrimp sits P12 and Rock Lobster in P13. So let me know in the chat, who do you guys think is going to pull off the race win tonight here for Xbox Division 4? Can Funky Cactus keep up the same pace he had in qualifying, or will someone like Fantas, PP9 Magic, or even his teammate of Vexing Track potentially pass him up on track? Take a look at who is on what tires, and this is a complete shake-up here on the grid. Looking at Fantas on the hards. Maybe not the best strategy call for him, but we'll see how that plays out. You got Funky out on the softs, and then back behind him is PV9 Magic here on the medium. So quite a shakeup on the grid. So it's going to be the battle of strategies here tonight as we wait for 5 lights out and away. As here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And away we go. The Haas in the very back getting a horrible start. That looks like groggy, but Funky has gotten out terrifically. LDR Redeemer diving down the out in the inside, picking up P2. Fantas getting pushed out very wide. Vexing Track getting off down to P3. It's going to be a battle up the Radeon. See if our drivers decide to go too wide. No, they're going to slot inside here. You got PP9 Magic going right behind the back of the Red Bull right here. And very nicely done, keeping it pretty clean for our entire driver lineup here. We're up into the first lap, and you got Taeyon and PP9 Magic going side by side. And on board here with Father Corn after a little bit of glitch there on the camera. Looks like PP9 Magic might get this place done, making a little bit of contact there with the Mercedes driver, but it looks like he's going to keep up P7. Now you got Father Corn right on the back of Taeyon. He's going to make a move down here. No, looks like he's going to slot himself in. Not enough room. Taeyon barely leaving the space, but looks like Father Corn might get the move done here for P8. He's going to slot himself back in, but you got to look out. You got a lot of drivers going side by side. This is not a good mixture right here for these guys. And the Williams of PP9 Magic diving down the inside. You got 3 going off the track, all 4 wheels. And then it's contact. That is now Night Shrimp going off, making contact there with Father Corn. You now got to watch out. Dark Ghost now right on the back of PPR Ollies there in the Williams. Trying to sort out a move, but very hectic start to this race. Looks like everything's starting to sort itself out, but unfortunate events there for Night Shrimp, just making a little bit of contact and going off the track. They're now on board here with PPR Ollies going down the inside of the Greek Wookie. Letting off just a little bit there, letting the Greek Wookie go by, and there goes Dark Ghost now for P10. They're now going through the final chicane, turn 19 and 20. It looks like Ollie's going to keep P10 there as Dark Ghost slots himself back in, but gets a good run out here. He's going up into turn 1, and he's going to get a great run here on Ollie's. Ollie's diving down the inside through turn 1. Instead of that yellow stripe medium versus that red stripe soft, and Dark Ghost is going to win out on that right now. Ollie's going to slot himself back in. DRS is not available so far, and we have a yellow through sector 2. That is Fantas has gone off and into the wall, has not retired, but losing a lot of his front wing. And that is unfortunate there for the Toro Rosso team. He's going to presumably fall back to the back of the grid. We'll take it back up here with Best Taeyon here in the Mercedes. Have a nice little battle with the Williams with PV9 Magic. Going side to side, but Taeyon has let off here and conceded that 7th place to himself and letting Magic pick up P6. Has to be said, Funky Cactus is pulling out a massive gap already on Redeemer. He is on the soft, so that's what he has to do right now. Redeemer already 2.5 seconds back. We have Taeon trying to catch up here with PV9 Magic, and the Greek Wookiee is going side by side with Dark Ghost. Oh, Wookiee catching a little bit of contact there. Still going side by side. Neither one of these drivers giving up position. Very nice hard battling going on. Oh, and they're going to make it going all the way down the straight. Oh, a little bit of contact. Wookiee still keeping it in, and there goes PPR Ollies and the Williams in the P9. Some great battling going on. Sprightly has retired from the session, and there is a safety car as Sprightly has gone off. See if we can pick him up where he went off. Go on board here with Night Shrimp. Might be able to pick up Sprightly here. Presumably going off right before Sector 3. Very odd spot. Might have caught the barrier before the straight. See if Night Shrimp picks him up here. Yeah, and there is Sprightly. That is unfortunate for him. That's going to be his night over, and Toto Wolff is probably kicking himself. And probably so is Funky Cactus after building up a 3-second gap. Is going to have to concede it all right here on lap 3 with the safety car catching up the rest of the grid. Just to go down the standings real quick, we have Funky Cactus, Elder Redeemer, Vexing Track, 1, 2, and 3. Racing Point doing a great job so far, as well as the McLaren team. You got Big Mr. Brown right there in P4. Followed by Orange Crush, Best Taeon, Dark Ghost, Ollies, Groggy, and the Greek Wookiee running off the top 10. But you can't forget about the rest of our drivers. Father Corn, the real stallist, the coach, Rock Lobster rounding off 10th through 14th. Followed by PV9 Magic, Fantas, who's going in the pits for a wing change, and Night Shrimp. So this safety car really helping out Fantas. Even though he's going to be on the back of the grid, gets a free pit stop, and it'll get his chance to fight his way up the grid. He has the pace to do so, get himself back in the points positions, but it has been a tough night for him and the Toro Rosso team. And as under the safety car, we're going to take another quick 30-second break. We enjoy all of you guys tuning in right now, and we'll be right back with you in just 30 seconds. And we are back 4 laps into this 22-lap race. And we currently have Funky Cactus leading the grid. Sprightly, unfortunately, DNF in the session and leading out to the safety car. But a great job and a great little battle here from the Racing Point and McLaren team. We're going one by one as they round off 1st through 4th. But it is definitely the battles of strategies here. So you got Funky Cactus currently on the softs, Redeemer on the mediums. And it looks like McLaren and Racing Point are just battling it out on strategy so far. We'll see which team can come out in the end, and hopefully we have the safety car coming in this lap as everyone has reformed back in the grid. So hopefully we get back to racing this lap for lap number 5. It is a very long race here at Spa. You got 22 laps, but the circuit is so long that it feels so much longer. And there we go, safety car is in this lap, so it is all up to Funky Cactus to lead up the group. And oh, we got some 5-second time penalties. Big Mr. Brown, as well as the coach, picking up 5-second time penalties. That is unfortunate for them. That's going to definitely cost them at the end of the race. And Dark Ghost as well, who's currently sitting in P5, has picked up a 5-second penalty to himself. But now we just wait for Funky Cactus to lead out the group here and restart the race. See Redeemer there. He is on the charge, peeking, trying to get through. And off goes Funky Cactus, leading off the rest of our group. LDR Redeemer right behind him, very close. Funky's going to cut off the inside line. Redeemer's going to go on the outside, doesn't have the line. You also got to worry about the other racing point behind him, a Vexing Track. Looks like Redeemer's going to battle it up 2 by 2, going up Radion. No, he's going to slide himself back in. Looks like Dark Ghost in the back is looting out the best Teon there for P6. When it looks like Redeemer lost out a little bit there from Funky, and this might give Vexing Track a chance to go. Groggy has retired, so has Father Corn. Father Corn going off through a Rouge and into the barrier. Presumably he made contact there with Groggy. We're unable to catch that on stream. That's unfortunate for those guys. We're still on the battle for the lead. It is the 2 racing points sandwiching this McLaren here, Redeemer, for P1 through 2 and 3. And Redeemer still fighting up here with Funky Cactus. These guys are giving us some terrific racing. So Redeemer losing out just a little bit there from Funky, but he's going to have the benefit of slipstream here coming down the straight. They're now going to fight themselves down through Blanchemont, which is turn 17, as I completely bottled the actual name. But LTR Redeemer losing out just a little bit here on pace, but slipstream's going to keep it in. The Vexing Track is already falling back here on the soft compound tires. But LDR Redeemer is looking very well here in P2. He's got the mediums on, presumably going to go on the soft for his second stint of the race, depending on if we have another safety car. But so far, so good here from the McLaren team. Also got to say, Big Mr. Brown, we might see a 1-2 from the McLarens if they can make this strategy pay out, and if Big Mr. Brown can keep up with the top 3 drivers. We'll take a quick peek here at PPR Ollie's right behind Bestion as they come up Eau Rouge and Radion. I don't believe DRS is enabled quite yet. It is not. These guys are getting very close to each other. You also see the Greek Wookiee right behind PPR Ollie's there. He's going to take a dive. Doesn't look like it. They're all sorting themselves back in here. We got quite the train going on between these guys. And it's only a matter of time before one of them makes a move. Y'all are just patiently waiting for an opportunity to come amongst themselves, but Dark Ghost is not sitting very comfortably right now in P6 because he got a train of cars right behind him. He's got to do whatever he can to bridge this gap there for the Red Bull team, because his teammate of Orange Crush is doing a great job right now in P5 as they're out of the battle from the top 4. But it looks like this is going to be the best of the rest here tonight, and it's going to be McLaren and Racing Point battling for the podium finish here, and one of those drivers is going to lose out. But this battle in the midfield has been very exciting as we're now 6 laps into this 22-lap race. We see PV9 Magic right here on the charge of Big Mr. Brown. Sorry if the audio cut out. We're having a little bit of volume issues here, but PV9 Magic has made a great charge up here in the Williams. He's now right behind the McLaren of Big Mr. Brown. Magic making up a ton of positions right here. See if he can pick up on the McLaren driver now. He's got on the softs and less worn tires as well. Big Mr. Brown struggling a lot. Hit the curb just a little bit, catching a lot of overs here there. And PV9 Magic taking a little look. Oh, and what is wrong with the Orange Crush? He touches the grass. There's now the Greek Wookiee now up into P6. The Orange Crush falling one position. Also has to be said, the Racing Point drivers as well in first and second are doing very well for themselves. See if PV9 Magic can make another dive bomb through the final chicane. See Fantis there picking up a 3-second time penalty. He's still sitting P14. Not been his best day. And still not enough going there. And it looks like Funky Cactus now is diving into the pits. The first of our pit stoppers from the leading drivers. And back on board here with LER Redeemer, not being able to catch up the Vexing track, but Redeemer's teammate of Big Mr. Brown has to be worried here because PV9 Magic has a great run. He's going to have DRS enabled as well. Big Mr. Brown is not going to be able to fight this position whatsoever. And you just see the benefit of DRS there, and PV9 Magic's now promoting himself into P3, and Big Mr. Brown losing out quite a bit. Let's take it on board here with Rock Lobster as Ollie's, who looks like he's disconnected, trying to go down the inside there of Funky Cactus. He can't quite make it stick. We'll take it back on board here with Ollie's. Looks like he is still in the session there, so still sitting comfortably there in P8 and looking at the race report of Funky, who just came out the pits. As PV9 Magic stays in front there of LER Redeemer. So the McLaren team falling back here late on in this first stint. We're almost halfway through this race here tonight. Oh, and there is another safety car out on track. Looks like the real Stalis has gone off through Eau Rouge and into the barrier. Let's see. Looks like Vexing Track's coming in the pits. PV9 Magic as well. LER Redeemer. Big Mr. Brown is staying out. The Greek Wookiee in. Orange Crush as well. Let's see what Vexing Track decides to do here. He's got enough space between him and his teammate. No, he's staying out since he's on fresh medium. So Funky is definitely winning here during the safety car battle. Ollie's in, and now to P10, which is Bestayon, but has to be said here, Funky coming out. So Racing Point doing very well because Big Mr. Brown has to still pit. He's on 10-lap old medium tires, so not going to be able to make those last till the end. So the Racing Point team is doing very well for themselves here under the safety car, and see how everything wraps up for the rest of our grid. We are now halfway through this 22-lap race, and Big Mr. Brown is probably kicking himself right now. He most likely should have come in the pits, and I'll also have to say that his teammate of LER Redeemer, the strategy is just not playing out in their favor whatsoever. He started on the mediums. He now has to go on to the hards till the end of the race. Softs only lasts about 8 laps here at Spa, so he doesn't have enough of a racist to make the softs last, or else in his perceived notion here for Zach Brown's McLaren team. So he's back out on the hards. Orange Crush as well on the hards. So it's definitely going to hurt our hard compound drivers. We'll see if Big Mr. Brown attempts to stay out here on the mediums, as we'll look at our current tires, or our current stop strategies, I'm sorry. So yeah, Big Mr. Brown, our only driver yet to stop. And he's kind of leaving himself up for bids right now. I mean, he has to stop, and he's going to fall all the way to the back of the grid, and not looking very good here from the McLaren team. You feel very unfortunate for them, but you can't control safety cars. And see if Big Mr. Brown stays out. Yes, he is. Big Mr. Brown is staying out. For unknown reasons, he's not going to come in the pits and put on fresh tires, so he's going to stay P1. Presumably, he has a futuristic sense of knowledge that another safety car is going to come out and he can make this work. But at the moment, this is not the race he wants to be going for, because he's got Vexing Track, he's got Funky Cactus behind him. Can't forget about PV9 Magic, who's made some fantastic moves in this race, as well as the Greek Wookiee right behind them, and then you got his teammate of El Eurodeemer here in the McLaren. So it's not looking too well here for Big Mr. Brown. Meanwhile, he does get to lead a few laps, but by the end of the race, he's going to fall so far back. He had a chance for a podium, but strategy-wise, he's really, I mean, looking back on this race, he's going to be kicking himself, because he should have came in right when the safety car came out. We now just have 10 laps remaining. And we've already discussed, got Big Mr. Brown there in first place, sells a stop, and then the racing points of Vexing Track and Funky Cactus doing very well there in P2 and P3, preliminary P1 and P2 after Big Mr. Brown pits. And then PV9 Magic just making some stellar moves. I gotta say, I'm very impressed with how well he's performed tonight under the circumstances. Claire Williams is not making a quick stop to the bar tonight. She is going to be celebrating post-race and not during the race. So that is very nicely done there from the Williams team. And right behind them, you got the Toro Rosso, the Greek Wookiee. As I've said before, he is a reserve driver coming from D3 into D4. And he's done a fantastic job so far, making strategies work, making the plays up the grid. And then look, there we have it, safety car in this lap. And you can't forget El Eurodeemer and Orange Crush here in 6th and 7th. They have it all up to grabs, but they got to make a lot of moves through the grid. But now it is all up to Big Mr. Brown there in first place to start us back off for the remainder of this race. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone who's currently tuning in. If you like what we're seeing, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, follow us on our socials. But here we go, Big Mr. Brown coming through turn 19 and 20. Safety car is in, and Big Mr. Brown, oh, what has gone wrong? His car is just flipped on his side, and now both racing points are P1 and 2. Unable to tell quite what went wrong there with Big Mr. Brown, but he's falling back to the back of the grid and yet to stop, so that might be his race done for the night. As we now go on board here with PV9 Magic, making a great run here on the Racing Point drivers, as well as the Greek Wookiee. But look at El Eurodeemer right on the back here of the Toro Rosso, going down the inside on the hard compound tires, making the run. Can he make it stick here through turn 6 and 7? He's got the curb, making a little bit of contact, and they're ghosting, doing 2 connection issues. He's going to say P5 here. Greek Wookiee still up into P4. It looks like the only driver to separate the 1-2 finish here from the Racing Point drivers is PV9 Magic, and I am not going to count him out whatsoever because he is on a charge at the moment. We'll take it on board here with Dark Ghost. Have a little bit of team orders going on. Doesn't quite look like it right now. Oh, and there we go. Yep. Orange Crush is letting him by. He's letting Dark Ghost go and giving him free reign to catch up to the rest of the grid. Very nicely done there from Christian Horner in the garage and letting Dark Ghost go on by. And also nicely done there from Dark Ghost, or I should say Orange Crush, for letting his teammate go by, knowing he's on the faster compound tire, and just let him go by. But back on board here, P9 Magic going through the chicane once again. We've seen him do this multiple times tonight, but oh, Vexing Track not giving him any of the space. He's going to keep P2. P9 Magic's going to be kicking himself because he's done that move 3 times so far tonight, and yet he can't get it done on the Racing Point driver. He's going to get a great run up Radion and Eau Rouge down the DRS straight. I don't believe DRS is enabled for this lap, so it's going to be all up to that slipstream. But he's had a great run. Vexing sitting down the inside. Oh, P9 Magic might get this move done. He's going on the outside. You got the Racing Point of Vexing down the inside. It's a drag race. Looks like Vexing's going to beat him out here. He's got the inside. Got P9 Magic going very wide, cutting the corner. Oh, when he gets the move done, that's something Stewart's going to have to look at post-race, because that might possibly be an illegal overtake. But Vexing Track losing out here from PV9 Magic. And now Vexing Track has to worry about the Toro Rosso of the Greek Wookiee, because he's also on a charge, and so is the McLaren of LDR Redeemer in P5. And he's on those hard compound tires, so he's going to be going very strong at the end of the race. We're now 14 laps into this 22-lap race. Oh, and the Greek Wookiee getting sideways, barely saving the car, but he's going to lose a lot of time here. And he now got LDR Redeemer and Dark Ghost on his gearbox. Oh, LDR Redeemer only making contact with the wall. He's giving up position to the Red Bull of Dark Ghost. Dark Ghost is going to have a great run now here on the Greek Wookiee. Doesn't look like he's able to make a move through the final chicane, but he'll have DRS advantage down that first DRS, or that second DRS straight, excuse me. And Dark Ghost, oh, has picked up a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting. That was a little excessive, Cody's, or quite abruptly excessive. Nonetheless, Dark Ghost still here on the back of the Greek Wookiee. We'll let the stewards sort out time penalties post-race. We'll stay on board with what happens on track, and that is the father team going against the sister team. That is Red Bull on Toro Rosso. He's going to have DRS come down this straight to see if he can get the move done. The Greek Wookiee maintaining the outside line. Dark Ghost down the inside. And nothing doing there for the Greek Wookiee. That's now Dark Ghost in the P4. He's gone purple through Sector 1. He is on the charge and on the oldest medium tires throughout the entire grid, so Dark Ghost does not care. He's going for it all right now. So Dark Ghost currently a 2.5 seconds back from Vexing Track. Vexing Track the same point there from PV9 Magic. And PV9 Magic trying to catch up with P1 there, a Funky Cactus. And it doesn't look like he's gaining too much time. He's gone purple through Sector 2, but Cody's likes to lie to us. And he might have just barely gone purple, but nothing yet going there for PV9 Magic. But this has been a fantastic race, I have to say. Our D4 drivers always show out the best, and they always keep it clean, always keep it nice and hard, battling out on the circuit. But nonetheless, this has been some fantastic racing, and I have to say, it's always some of the best I see throughout the week between all of our divisions. That's between Xbox D1, D2, D3, D4, PC Division 1, and D2 as well. So if you like what you're seeing, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and then follow us as well on our socials. Why not? Hit us up on Twitter, PPR Esports. Hit us up on Instagram as well, PPR Esports. We're trying to grow as much as possible. We've got a lot coming out to you guys. But nonetheless, we'll keep it back here on the race. Looks like Night Shrimp and Fantas have both come into the pits. They're sitting currently P10 and P11. See how that rocks out for them. Because speaking of rocking, there's Rock Lobster in P12 on fresh softs. He might be able to pass him up and put himself into points paying positions. That Ferrari team has yet to score a single point this season. which is very sad to say, but they're looking like the Williams of the real-life F1 this past season. We'll take it on board here with the Greek Wookiee and the Toro Rosso. Still trying to bail out here with the Red Bull team of Dart Ghost. Dart Ghost has caught a lot of hate the past weeks for his very aggressive driving, but he's one of the drivers that he really gives that Red Bull team their rep because he Max Verstappen's everything. He's going for every move. He's going for everything he sees, and you got to tip your hat off to him. He does not leave a single inch of track up to grab. He's going for every move, and so far tonight he's done a great job. He's currently sitting barely outside of the top 3. He still has, I believe, 2 5-second time penalties to his name. Stewards might look at that post-race and take one away, but Dart Ghost might see himself drop very far back by the end of the race. But that does not matter right now to the Greek Wookiee because he's trying his best to just get the overtake done on track, and that's what we'd love to see here at PPR. Get it done on track. Let the stewards, let the time penalties deal with it after the race. And the Greek Wookiee still staying within a 1-second gap. He's going to get that DRS here down the straight. He's not going to be able to make the overtake, but he'll get a little bit closer to making a move here as you see that slipstream and DRS advantage come out to play here. Oh, as the Greek Wookiee nearly hits the barriers there, he's going to lose all the time that he just gained on Dart Ghost by nearly throwing himself in the barriers. Oh, but there goes Dart Ghost again, a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. He is shooting himself in the foot tonight. So we'll take it up here with PV9 Magic. You can't forget about him as well. The battle for the race win is not out of hands just yet because PV9 Magic is still going for that first spot. Funky Cactus not safe, and he is a 1.5 seconds ahead of the Williams driver, but has to be said, you still got 5 more laps to go, and you got to keep PV9 Magic behind you. He's got the fresher tires, even if it is by 1 lap, but he is on the charge right now. We'll take it back here with the Greek Wookiee. Looks like he might make another run here on Dart Ghost from P4. About 0.8 back. Not the gap you need when it comes to DRS. DRS is going to pick you up about 0.4. That's about it. And you'll see it come into play right here. See it go 7, 6/10, and then probably 5/10. But that's it. That's all he's going to get on Dart Ghost, so he doesn't have enough going for him. Oh, and that's going to be a big hurt there for PV9 Magic, picking up a 3-second time penalty. But looking at the Greek Wookiee here, making some gains on Dart Ghost. Right on the gearbox now of that Red Bull. And he doesn't care what Christian Horner is saying. He is just trying to make this move done on track. Who cares about the father team? You're the sister, and you're trying to make this move. As the Greek Wookiee now picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. See if the Greek Wookiee can keep up this terrific pace that he's done so far the past 1.5 laps. He's currently within 0.5 second here of Dart Ghost. See if he can pick up anything here down the main straight. Dart Ghost getting a fantastic exit. Also, as we said, they're slowly catching up to Vexing Track as well. Vexing Track in P3, so the podium final spot might be all up for grabs by the end of the race, depending on how Vexing Track can keep up there in 3rd place. But the Greek Wookiee now still on the back of Dart Ghost, going down turn 1 through the DRS straight, the first DRS straight of this lap. He's going to slot himself still right behind, getting up as much advantage as he can, going up Radion and a Rouge here. He's within that overtaking gap with about 0.4. He's now cut it down into 3. He's going to have DRS right here. He might get the move done. Dargos going down the inside. And that is Greek Wookie over the outside line. And Dargos cannot defend from it. That's the Greek Wookie now into P4. And Dargos finds himself now into P5. Seeing that Toro Rosso, his sister team, overtaking him. And he cannot be happy about that. They're going to battle out. But look at that. There's Vector Track right within their sights. These guys got to play it smart because they can still catch up to Vector Track there in P3 and pick up a podium. But the Greek Wookie has to understand that he cannot battle too much with Dark Ghost behind him. His charge now is on Vector Track for P3 and getting this Racing Point team out of a double-stepped podium. We'll see how it goes. PV9 Magic still sitting there in P2, has not been able to catch up too much to Funky Cactus. Funky Cactus still up there about a second and a half to 2 seconds lead gap the past few laps. So looks like he might be able to keep up that gap till the end of the race. But battle really now here is for the final podium spot. And that is, as we've said before, the Greek Wookie. He's making quite the charge up here on Vector Track. And if I'm Vector Track, I am worried. You're on the same compound tires. Oh, but there goes Dargos down the inside. And there goes the battle they don't need. And Dargos picked up another 5-second time penalty. He does not care. He's 18 seconds in on time penalties. And he might cost out the Greek Wookie here from a podium position. Dargos knows he's going to fall back massively due to time penalties. If I'm him, you have to understand, if you have time penalties like that, just slide yourself behind the driver like the Greek Wookie and understand that no matter what he's finishing in front of you, just give him position. Oh no, and there goes the Greek Wookie, he's off! Oh, and not scraping the wall, but you gotta be careful. There goes LDR Redeemer. Oh, the Greek Wookie's reset on track, that's against the rules. Gotta be said, but Greek Wookie coming out on P7, luckily did not make contact with Redeemer. But LDR Redeemer, the McLaren, and PPR, all these, and the Williams both getting up a spot there on the Greek Wookie. And the Wookie was looking at a podium finish, and he's giving it all up the last 2.5 laps in the race, and it got a feel for him, but can't be seeing our drivers reset on track like that. It's very unsafe to anyone coming up, but luckily no contact was made. We're still going on safe in the race. We'll still go on strong, but as we see it right now, looks like Funky Cactus still is going to keep P1. He's a 1.5 seconds ahead here of the Williams of PV9 Magic. And PV9 Magic is going to push very hard. We'll put on the telemetry real quick. PV9 Magic, oh, he's doing a great job on that ERS Magic. He might be able to make a charge the final 2 laps of the race. He's got enough ERS going for him. He's got to do it right now, though. You got to get within that 1 second gap of Funky Cactus. And he sees him right in front of him. He's got it right there. P1, the race win is right in front of that Williams driver. Claire Williams is yelling at him in the pit box. Go for it. Do all you can. Is now all up to grabs here for PV9 Magic. He's still a 1.5 seconds back. He's not going to get DRS coming up this straight. We got 2 laps to go. And it is all up to PV9 Magic here. Funky Cactus probably praying that PV9 Magic does not catch up to him. He's been sitting very comfortably here in P1 the entire second stint of this race, and he wants to keep it that way until the very end. PV9 Magic still trying to fight for it, not really breaking too much into that gap. He's going to have to hope that Funky Cactus makes some sort of mistake here so that he can pick up P1. We're now about to come up to the final lap of the race. Most of these gaps are very broken up, so it's all up to the battle here for P1, and PV9 Magic has not done enough right here on this second to last lap to really make any advantage here. We'll just keep it up right here with you guys. It's all up to PV9 Magic. And that is a 1.5 seconds. He has to make up. Hasn't been able to do it the past 5 laps. He's got to do it right here. This is the final lap of the race. As we look at Funky Cactus now coming through turn 1, getting a great exit out of there. As he sees the Williams in his rear view mirrors, and Magic is shooting for P1. They come up Radiana Rouge for the last time here tonight. Still nothing gained between them. All Funky Cactus has to do is keep it on track and not make a mistake for this final lap like he's done all night. That is P1 done and dusted for him. As we said, though, he's lost out nearly half a second now to Magic. Magic is pushing very hard. He is trying the best. He's pushing that Williams to the best that he can possibly push it to. Getting very close there to the wall. He's going to break it down now. Less than 9/10 of a second. He's under that second gap. Funky Cactus has to be worried now because here comes the Williams driver of PV9 Magic down now into 7/10 of a second. 6/10. He is pushing it as hard as he possibly can. And that's now half a second gap. PV9 Magic might steal this race win. That is purple to sector 2. He's going to get the long straight here going down the final chicane. He's made this move done 3 times already tonight. He's half a second back here from Funky Cactus. He's going to come through the final chicane. He's a little too far back, but I'm not going to keep it out the realm of possibility. And he understands he's not going to get the move done. It's not there. Very nicely done by him to understand not to make that dive bomb. There goes Funky Cactus. P1. PV9 Magic after penalties, still P2. There comes Vexing Track, who will get PV9 Magic off of penalties in P3. And Dark Ghost, see if he stays P4 after his penalties. Yes, he will. There goes LER Redeemer. PPR Ollie's passing up Redeemer for 5 and 6. And coming is the Greek Wookiee, Orange Crush, and then Best Pay Own there in P9 coming down the final straight and the final chicane as well. It looks like P9, P10, P11, P12 will all stay the same. Unfortunately, we do not have enough time tonight for driver interviews. I'm going to have to cut the stream short after that. But I have to say, I greatly appreciate everyone who showed up tonight. Make sure to tune in to our iRacing event tomorrow, the 24-hour of Nürburgring. That's going to last from Saturday afternoon all the way to Sunday afternoon. I hope you guys tune into that, as our drivers have been cranking it out very hard here on the iRacing side. And we wish them nothing but the best come tomorrow. And this might be my very last stream here for Xbox Division 4. So I just want to thank everyone who's tuning in so much. I will still be here for the Xbox Division 2, but it's been it's just been fantastic to watch these races, commentate them with you guys, and finally hats off to Funky Cactus for P1. That's going to be me, PPR Nick, signing off for PPR Esports. And as I said, this might be my last Friday night stream, but I love all of you guys, and you can catch me out on Tuesday nights. And I am signing off for PPR Esports.